Annyeong Buzz. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about everything buzzing in the world of Korean entertainment and beyond. And today, we're diving into something that's making waves in both the K-pop and gaming world. Yep, we're talking about that huge controversy involving Krafton, the creators of PUBG, and their collab with none other than NJZ. Okay, I need to ask, did any of you actually spend money during the NJZ x Pub collab? Because if you did, you might want to sit down for this, so here's the scoop. From March to June last year, Krafton launched what seemed like a super cool crossover between PUBG and NJZ, which for those of you unfamiliar, is a fictional girl group from the HYBE universe. The concept was genius. You could literally turn your PUBG character into your favorite NJZ member by unlocking skins from special loot boxes. Like, how could anyone resist that? Now here's where things get messy. Krafton claimed that by your 5th loot box attempt, you were guaranteed to get an NJZ skin. That word guaranteed is key here, because as it turns out, it was kind of a lie. According to the Korea Fair Trade Commission, the real probability of getting an NJZ skin per attempt was just 9%. Not 100% by the 5th try, not even 50%, 9%. That means most players were spending a lot more money, and I mean a lot, under the impression they were getting closer to something they actually weren't. And here's where I really want your opinion, BuzzFan. Do you think this counts as scamming? Or is this just part of the game industry's surprise mechanics? Because let's be real, loot boxes have always been shady territory. But when you start using K-pop to pull people in, especially fans who are willing to spend just to collect their fave member's skin, it feels like a whole new level of manipulation. The KFTC clearly agrees, because they not only fined Krafton 2.5 million KRW, which is about $1,800 USD, but they also found that the company had done this multiple times with other items. Some collectibles, according to the investigation, had a literal 0% chance of being won. Like, you couldn't win them at all. They were completely unobtainable. Yet people were still trying, and paying. It's honestly kind of wild when you think about it. You're hyped up. You see an ad saying you're guaranteed to get an NJZ skin soon, and you keep clicking. You go again, and maybe by the 10th box you start thinking, wait, did I misunderstand something? But by then you've already dropped real cash, maybe $10, maybe $50, maybe way more. And I can't help but wonder how many of these players were young. How many of them were NJZ or K-pop fans who didn't know the math behind loot box probabilities? Let me know in the comments. Have you ever fallen into this kind of trap in a game? Or do you think people should know better by now? Anyway, not just facing a slap on the wrist. They're now being forced to offer actual compensation. And get this, they've already issued direct refunds to 380,000 players. That's about 1.10 billion Korean won, or $805,000 USD in real money. On top of that, they gave away 9.80 billion Korean won, over $7 million USD in in-game currency. That's a lot of money. Like, that's K-pop debut budget levels of money. Maybe even 2 debuts. But here's what really gets me. This isn't just a Krafton issue. The KFTC also sanctioned HYBE and 3 other K-pop companies for consumer rights violations recently. So this is clearly part of a bigger crackdown, and I think it's long overdue. Because look, whether it's games or merchandise or digital fan events, fans are spending big, and a lot of times, they're not even thinking about the money. They're thinking about the emotional connection, that skin, that photo card, that virtual call. It's not just a product, it's part of a fantasy of being closer to your idols, to your group, to that world. So when companies exploit that by misrepresenting odds or selling something that's literally impossible to get, I don't know, BuzzFan, that crosses a line. Asterisk, now here's where it gets interesting. Because this case with Krafton and NJZ, it's not just about a game anymore. It's about trust. And once that trust is broken, especially in the K-pop fandom world, things can get real ugly. Real fast. Imagine being a fan who spent weeks saving up just to try getting your bias NJZ skin in PUBG. You believe the 5th try is your lucky one. Just like the ad said. But in reality, you were never guaranteed anything. How many players do you think felt betrayed by that? And let's be honest, companies like Krafton and HYBE know their audience. They know the emotional investment fans have. So when they do something like this, it feels less like a business mistake and more like they're knowingly playing with people's feelings and wallets. Now of course, some people might say, well, that's just the gaming industry. It's always been like this. And yeah, loot boxes and gacha systems are nothing new. But when a real-world regulatory body like the Korea Fair Trade Commission steps in and starts handing out sanctions, that's a sign things are finally shifting. Honestly, I think this could set a new standard for how K-pop collabs in games are handled moving forward. Because let's face it, K-pop X gaming is booming. We've seen BTS with Fortnite, Blackpink in PUBG before, aespa in virtual spaces, and we're going to see more of it. Not less, but now that there's been a public backlash and a legal fine, companies might be forced to think twice about how transparent they are, which honestly is a good thing. It means more fairness, more honesty, and hopefully, less fan exploitation, that said. And I really want your thoughts on this. Do you think fans will forgive Krafton and move on? Or is the damage already done? I mean, they're giving refunds and in-game currency, which is a decent response. But does it fix the fact that this happened in the first place? Also, how do we feel about HYBE being dragged into this too? Even though this specific scandal is Krafton's, the fact that HYBE and 3 other K-pop companies were sanctioned around the same time tells us that the KFTC is taking this whole issue of consumer manipulation in K-entertainment very seriously. So, is this the beginning of a new era of fan rights? Will this make entertainment companies rethink how they monetize fan loyalty? Or is this just one bump in the road before things go back to business as usual? Personally, I think the fans are getting smarter and louder. People are talking about odds, percentages, transparency, and that's powerful. Because when fans are informed, it becomes way harder to fool them. And now I want to hear from you, BuzzFam, especially if you're into both K-pop and gaming. Where do you draw the line? Would you still spend money on a collab like this if you knew the odds? Or are you done with loot boxes entirely? And let's say you're Krafton, what would you do next to fix the situation? Like, is money enough of an apology? Or do they need to come out with a public apology video? Maybe even bring in NJZ for a proper explanation. Also, real talk. Should K-pop companies stop doing these kinds of collabs unless they can be 100% transparent? Or do you think this kind of crossover is still worth the risk? As long as they do it right. Drop your thoughts in the comments, I'll be reading them all. And if you've been burned by a game or collab before, share your story. Let's make this a space where we can actually talk about this stuff without shame. Before we wrap, here's a final thought. Collaborations between K-pop and games have the potential to be amazing. They can bring fandoms together, build global hype, and create unforgettable moments. But they have to be done with integrity. Because if companies keep treating fans like piggy banks, people will start walking away. And once the trust is gone, no amount of refunds can bring it back. Alright, BuzzFam, thanks for sticking around to the end. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on our next deep dive. And of course, let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Until next time, this is Unyong Buzz, signing off.